It's hard to imagine our favorite artists doing anything other than what they were clearly born to do. Writing, recording, singing, and performing day in and day out for all of our enjoyment. If you can believe it though, some of our favorite artists in the world had regular, everyday jobs, even if it was just for a short period of time. I'm Shannon Burns from iHeartRadio Canada, and here are 10 jobs famous musicians had before they were stars. Before Harry Styles and One Direction stole all of our hearts, Harry was stealing the hearts of all of the customers at his local bakery in Holmes Chapel, England. Any big fan knows that Harry Styles used to work in a bakery. Imagine Harry Styles with that face and that hair asking you what croissants you want. I know I can't help but think about that too long either. In a clip from the documentary One Direction, This Is Us, Harry gives fans a quick tour of the bakery. He talked about how he used to have nightmares of washing dishes in the back room and how he would eat all the broken bits of pastry. I mean, who wouldn't? The bakery is still in fact open, and there's even a photo of Harry inside that you can take a photo with after you grab some baked goods. Sadly for Harry though, but good for us, his baking career was short-lived as he went on to X Factor UK in 2010, and well, we know the rest. Much to everyone's relief, Eminem, to the best of our knowledge, never worked at a Burger King, doing questionable things to our onion rings, like he likes to rap about in The Real Slim Shady. But a young Marshall Mathers was in fact a dishwasher and cook at the restaurant Gilbert's Lodge when growing up in Detroit. So while Eminem was hustling to make his big break, entering every rap battle he could to prove himself, he was making ends meet with fellow D12 bandmate Mr. Porter, cleaning dishes just a 6-minute drive from the infamous 8 Mile Road. From cleaning dishes to cleaning out his closet, we are very thankful that Eminem was able to leave his dishwashing days behind him and become the rap legend that he is today. A few years ago, a video of a young Austin Post leaked of the soon-to-be Post Malone trying out a very different sound as a teenager. This footage was probably around the time that he was playing Guitar Hero and dreaming of being a big star. But that definitely wasn't what he was doing to pay the bills. Posty told Rolling Stone in 2017 that he briefly worked at a Chicken Express in Southlake, Texas as a teen, and in 2018 he called the gig his first and his last real job. Post said that he really only took the job at the time to buy himself some Versace shoes. The chicken restaurant must hold a special place in Post Malone's heart though, because in 2019 he returned to his former place of employment to give away hundreds of Post Malone Crocs to lucky customers. Probably the only thing catchier than a Pharrell song is the McDonald's jingle, and it turns out that Pharrell Williams actually produced the I'm Loving It jingle for them in 2003 with Justin Timberlake. The two of them collabed on a reinterpretation of a German jingle that McDonald's had already developed. But Pharrell's history with the Golden Arches actually goes much further back than that. Pharrell told Seth Meyers that he was fired from 3 different McDonald's as a teenager for ignoring his duties. Instead, he would just sing and dance along to the music that was playing over the restaurant speakers. Little did those customers know at that time that they were witnessing a genius at work. We continue our dive into the food service industry with a young Nicki Minaj who actually worked as a waitress at multiple Red Lobsters before hitting it big. Nicki admitted to Jimmy Fallon that she was a little iffy with the customers during her time slinging seafood in New York City, and attributes her experience as waitressing as a wake-up call that she needed to follow her dreams. Originally to become an actress or a singer, but eventually finding her calling as a multi-platinum selling rapper. Don't think all that Red Lobster training went to waste though. Nicki Minaj still has knowledge of their menu and even took Jimmy Fallon to Red Lobster on camera in 2019 to prove it, teaching him how to crack a lobster and treating him to a very unique sounding lobsterita. Cardi B's rise to fame on the show Love and Hip Hop is well documented, as is her career working as a stripper pre-Bodak Yellow fame. But for a young Belcalis Almazar, a cashier at the Tribeca Amish market is where she really cut her teeth, grinding from paycheck to paycheck. Cardi told Fader back in 2016 that the cashier job was her last job pre-exotic dancing, and that she was let go from the position for giving a coworker an unauthorized discount. As the story goes, it was her former manager at the grocery store that told her that she should try stripping to make some extra cash, and her first stripping gig was actually right across the street. We all know how the story turned out for Cardi B, who has gone from strength to strength, releasing hit after hit on her own with collaborations with people like Bruno Mars, Maroon 5, and Megan Thee Stallion. Perhaps Kanye West's preppy polo look in his early college dropout days were inspired by one of his early careers pre-fame as a salesman at The Gap. Kanye raps in 2004 Spaceship about his struggles working at The Gap, admitting to turning to stealing while working there, and notably about the racism that he experienced, feeling like he was tokenized at the time at the clothing store. Like many artists on the list, Kanye was motivated by his negative experiences on the job and famously locked himself in a room at all times, making 5 beats a day until making it big as a producer and then a rapper in his own right. These days, Kanye is a major influence in the fashion world. In 2020, sales for his Yeezy line of sneakers reached nearly $1.7 billion in annual revenue, netting Kanye $191 million in royalties. The Weeknd's early days have already been shrouded in mystery. The dark and the mystical tones of House of Balloons was nothing like anything that was going on in music when he first broke, and he was keeping his identity just as cloudy. As legend has it, when Abel was still mostly considered underground hype, he was so anonymous that his music would play at the Toronto American Apparel store that he worked at while he was working there folding clothes, and nobody knew that it was him. The anonymity didn't last for long though, as The Weeknd has gone on to be one of the most iconic voices of our generation, working with everybody from Drake to Daft Punk to Ariana Grande and headlining the Super Bowl halftime show. Okay, so it might seem like Beyoncé has just been famous for as long as we can remember, and honestly, that's mostly true. Beyoncé has been known that she's been destined to be a singer, even performing on Star Search as early as 1993. But Beyoncé did find her voice as she was sweeping the floors of her mom's hair salon as a kid. Young Beyoncé saw the whole world as a stage, literally, as she would use the freshly swept floors as her performance space, singing for the captive audience of her mom's clients. Beyoncé recalled in her HBO documentary, "Most of them were like, I just want to get my press and a curl, I don't want to hear this." The customers couldn't leave though because they were locked under the dryer. Whatever pocket money and tips she made back then is nothing, obviously, compared to how Beyoncé is doing now. The successful singer, actor, director, and entrepreneur is by far one of the biggest artists of our time. She was the first solo artist to have 6 consecutive albums hit and debut at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart, and is the most nominated and awarded woman in Grammy's history. If there is anyone who I thought would be an exterminator before their rise to fame, Taylor Swift is not exactly one of them. Most people know that she grew up on her parents' Christmas tree farm. She even has a song that's all about it. When she was younger, since she was too small to carry the trees, it was Taylor's job to check all the trees for bugs, praying mantises to be exact. If you were a lucky family that brought a Christmas tree home from Taylor's family farm, you have Taylor to thank for not having to shake off a serious bug infestation in your home. But it was clear that she was born to take over the music industry and not the family business. Taylor Swift has set over 30 Guinness World Records. She has 9 #1 albums and 41 Grammy nominations in total. And that's our list. Thank you so much for watching. Do you know any other artists that had regular jobs before they were famous that you think belong on this list? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video as well as subscribe to this channel for more lists like this.